Peace and joy are intricately connected, meaning you can't have one without the other. Today I'll show you how to find the peace that surpasses your understanding. Short episodes to inspire you with wisdom and encouragement for the journey of your life. Welcome to Your Kingdom Journey. I hope you've been listening since episode 1 on this journey to find sustainable joy. Today you're going to learn about the flip side of joy, which is peace, and how you can't have one without the other. Stay tuned through the end for an exercise you can practice to experience more peace. Joy is that exhilarating, brief moment of a deep feeling that's been triggered when you're happy to be with someone who's happy to be with you. Joy is an emotion that never lasts continually, and I think that's what confuses people when the high of joy disappears and peace comes in its place. You may be tempted to believe, as I did, that somehow I was doing something wrong when joy left so quickly. Joy comes and goes as you experience it in brief encounters for brief moments. Peace follows. Peace is what remains. Peace, simply uttering the word, seems to elicit a deep breath and a slowing of my heartbeat. It's the cry of my soul to have it. Do you feel it? Peace is the natural flow of emotion that remains when joy is finished. Peace is the high energy feeling of shared excitement. Peace is the low energy feeling of contentment. It's the feeling of being safe and calm and connected. Joy is the key to emotional capacity. But to understand it fully, you must realize that it's always followed with the rhythm of joy and rest. That includes peace and contentment. Joy should always end in rest. If you're out with friends participating in a fun activity, that joyful time should lead to a time of quiet later on. The high joy followed by the low-level quiet creates a complete experience that grows your capacity for more joy. And joy is a feeling, not a choice, that takes place in your joy center, the right hemisphere of your brain. But while you can't choose to feel joy, you can choose to do things that make joy more likely, like choosing to spend some time with Jesus, to initiate two-way, free-flowing conversation with Him. That choice is made in the left hemisphere. That's the part that's good at problem solving. So when you're not feeling very joyful, you can choose to do something that you know will produce the feeling of joy. Then, to see the cycle complete itself, make sure it ends in peace. The quiet, calm time that followed the high energy joy. The one way I experience the cycle of joy and peace is when I'm actively participating in worship and praise of the Lord at my church. Singing along with the music and watching dancers and artists really create a joyful experience for me. I often say to people, worship's like a contact sport with me. I love to clap and dance and move and sway and really lose myself in unrestrained expressions of love to the Lord. It can be very high energy. But sometimes I find myself sitting down to just rest and calm myself and connect with His peace, His presence. I wasn't even actually aware that I was experiencing the cycle of joy. But thinking about my favorite verse, it's so hard to declare a favorite, isn't it? But I do so love Ephesians 2:14. He Himself is our peace. I allow myself to picture Jesus in the church, in the room. Sometimes He's just with me in my mind's eye, receiving my love, or even dancing around with me. Sometimes He's seated high above the stage on His heavenly throne, but regardless of how I see Him, I begin to experience His peace. Yes, Jesus does release peace to us, but He is our peace, which means when we are with Him, we have peace. According to this scripture, He has broken down the middle wall of division between us, having abolished in His flesh the enmity, that is the law of the commandments, contained in an ordinance, so as to create in Himself one new man from the two, thus making peace, that He might reconcile them both to God in one body through the cross, thereby putting to death the enmity. Because through Him we both have access by one Spirit to the Father. Because Jesus broke down the division between man and God through his body, he became peace. So spending time with Jesus is a perfect way to live in the cycle of peace and joy. Peace is also a natural way of quieting ourselves. Brain scientists have observed that when babies experience high energy, joyful encounters, they will turn away and quiet themselves briefly before they re-engage with the stimulation that's producing joy. This cycle produces and grows capacity in the brains of the babies. And you know, the same thing can grow in us. The more easily we experience high energy joy followed by the quiet and rest of peace, we're growing our own capacity for emotional resilience. Here's a little exercise you can deliberately do to experience peace with Jesus. Sit in a quiet, undistracted place. Ask Jesus for a peaceful memory. Simple. Let yourself relive that memory. Make note of the details of the scene and enjoy reliving the peace you experienced then. Ask Jesus, what does he want you to now know to give you peace? Then ask Jesus, how would you like to increase my peace right now? Make note of what difference it will make to you when you do what he suggests. What effect does it and will it have on your mind and your body? This process of asking those questions integrates the learning so your left brain realizes that actually stopping to ask God about how to get peace will actually make a difference, so then you can realize you can choose to do it again anytime you want. I hope this brief journey to find joy followed by peace was helpful to you. I'd love to hear your feedback. And I do want to share that much of what I learned about joy and peace is from Marcus Warner at Deeper Walk International and Jim Wilder of Life Model Works. Their books are in the notes for you. I hope you have hopefully experienced a moment or two of the cycle of joy and peace and can now put into practice the choice of returning to it whenever you want. And until next week, may the Lord lead you to find the cycle of peace and joy that will lead you to the source of sustainable joy, Jesus.